This is Chuck. This is going to be the second video of uncrating my 78s from these milk crates. In the first video, we uncrated 2 of them and went through them to see what kind of treasures we could find. Found a few things I liked, a lot of common stuff. And I'm going to uncrate the second 2 milk crates with you. Let me get started. And just like in the first video, these milk crates contain loose albums and a few other albums. Most of them are in bad shape as far as the albums go. The records inside vary anywhere from great to broken. So I'll start pulling. First thing out of the box is a terrible condition loose leaf album. And I somehow tend to pull these things out upside down and backward. And I'm not going to pull out the more common records, but I will show you the ones that aren't so common. Or at least to me are not so common. First thing we have is a Decca Personality Series. Bing Crosby. It's a Red Label Columbia Guy Mitchell. A Mercury, The Shifting Whispering Sands by Rusty Draper. Another Mercury, Eddie Howard. RCA Victor, Swing and Sway with Sammy Kaye. Here's a Victrola, which Victrolas are not all that uncommon, but this is a 2-sided Victrola Batwing. The Batwing refers to the pattern on the label. Moonlight and Roses by John McCormack, and The Sweetest Call. Then we have a Victor Scroll record. The scroll, of course, it also refers to the pattern on the label. Trovatore by Victor Mixed Chorus, and Pilgrim's Chorus by Victor Male Chorus. It's another Victor Scroll. This is a bigger label scroll. This is At Dawning by Jesse Crawford on one side and Roses of Picardy on the other side. We have an RCA Victor Pericomo, Blue Skies. And this album is literally falling apart. I have not gone through these beforehand, so this is all new to me. Next is a better shape album. It says The Brunswick All Phonographs in One. Open it up to an old Columbia A series. And this is Art Hickman's Orchestra, Darling on one side and Missy on the other side. Fair condition, not great. I do not know how to properly judge the condition of records. That would be left to more expert people. I'm too much of an amateur for that. Next we have a Columbia A series, Sweet Little Stranger by the Hickman Trio, and Nightingale by the Hickman Trio. And there's a Decca Cherokee by Jimmy Dorsey. It's in really clean condition. Here comes a Perfect. I don't know that I have a Perfect in my collection. And and it's on a brownish vinyl, or shellac. This is Ben Ali, Many Happy Returns of the Day on one side, and When the Moon Comes Over the Mountain on the other side on Perfect label. Next we have a Decca Sunburst, which is the older Deccas. Connie Boswell, Serenade in the Night. Not going to pull that one out. Then we have another A-Series Columbia. Arthur Fields. Ta-da, ta-da, da-da, blah, blah, jing, jing, something. And we have a Victor Batwing. It's a fairly old album, I suppose. This is Kitten on the Keys by Zez Comfrey and his orchestra. This one's cracked, so probably will go in the trash can. Club Royal Orchestra. Thin hairline crack, it might be playable. I'm not going to chunk it immediately. I'll try it and see what happens. It's like I said in the last video, when you buy a set of these from a junk shop or anywhere else, there tends to be a few cracked ones in the mix. The one-sided Victrola. This is Valse Bluette by Joshua Hafitz, I guess. I'm not sure. Nice set of older records. Next is a single-sided Victor on Batwing. There's nothing on the back of it. And this is Solitude. A little hard to read, by Francis Ada. Good condition record. It's just the label's a little difficult to read. Maybe the color of the ink or whatever. Next is another Victor Batwing. Victrola Batwing. It's a single-sided. And this one is Lead Kindly Light by Geraldine Farrar. I know I have that song on another record. I don't think it's on Victrola. And that does it for this album. Not a bad album at all. I'll take it. Next album, again, they're all in pretty bad condition. They've been stored for who knows how many years. Upside down and backward. First, we have a few loose records. There's a Mercury, Dinah Washington, a non-breakable. Then there is a, let's see, does this one say non-breakable? No, it does not. It's going in the trash. Red Label Columbia, Doris Day. Decca Personality, Russ Morgan. Capitol, Frank Sinatra. Capitol, Peggy Lee. Daddy O by Dinah Shore on Red Label Columbia. Joe Stafford on Red Label Columbia. Frankie Carl, Red Label Columbia. Doris Day, Red Label Columbia. Capitol, Cliffy Stone. Most of these are 40s big bands. That era. Like I said in the other video, these are some that most collectors might just chunk, but there is some good music. It's the music my grandparents would have listened to. And there's a list in the front of this of what is supposed to be in here, and I don't know if it matches or not. I may or may not look at that later because I'm not going to keep this album. It's going in the dumpster. After going through albums like this, you have to do some cleaning in the room because they're flaking apart. Another loose leaf album out of this crate. Red Label Columbia, Joe Stafford. Red Columbia, Harry James. A Decca, Tavern in the Town by the Four Aces. Tavern in the Town is actually the music to the kids' song Head, Fingers, Knees, and Toes. Yeah, if you listen, it's the same music. Decca Personality Series, Bing Crosby, in terrible condition, it looks like, at least the label, and I'm going to pull it out. A lot of the modern kids' music and whatnot is actually very, very old. It's just been redone. Carl Comes Calling. This is Columbia Records with Rhythm Section 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be 4 records in here. First thing in here is not one of those records. Good Time Jazz, Chinatown, My Chinatown by the Firehouse 5. Never heard of this one. Other side is the Firehouse 5 plus 2, so be the Firehouse 7. When You Wore a Tulip. On Good Time Jazz. And inside this we should have 4 Frankie Carls, Red Label Columbia. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, so we do have a complete set. Next up is a pink on the back, brown on the front. It says all beautiful on tape. Not sure what that means. And we open this one up there. Oh, this is... okay. That doesn't go with it. Piano Reflections. By Joe Reichman. And there should be 4 records in here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that's a complete set. Number 4 is broken, so that set, well, it's not going to be complete anymore. Next is a generic record album. The first record in here is some Fortune label. Never heard of that label. The Tattooed Lady by Skeets McDonald on vocal with string band accompaniment. And the other side is Johnny White, Mean and Evil Blues. That's a Fortune label. So that'll be a nice addition to the collection. Record itself is in an okay condition, not great. Capitol, Skeets McDonald. A lot of empty pages in here. King, Hank Penny, Bloodshot Eyes. Epic label. Something Smith and the Redheads, Charlie My Boy. A product of CBS. And the other side is The Ace in the Hole. Next up comes Frankie Carl again and his girlfriends. Columbia record set. Rough condition, falling apart. Inside there's a Victor scroll is the first thing we come across, which doesn't belong, obviously. Let's see what we got here. It's pretty faded. At least on the side I'm looking at. I'm seeing Gene Austin, Are You Thinking of Me Tonight? And on the other side is My Blue Heaven by Gene Austin. And then we have one RCA Victor record in here. Capitol, Andy Russell. Another Capital by Andy Russell. So there's 2 Andy Russells in here, no Frank Carls. Oh well. Then a loose album with a note attached to it. Looks like it might have listed what records is in here. There's a Decca Personality, Ethel Smith. Columbia Red, Frankie Carl. Bullet, Beg Your Pardon, by Francis Craig and his orchestra. Mercury, Frankie Lane. A Regal. I've got one Regal. This is... not sure how... this side damage, it says. Okay. My Melancholy Baby by Harold Lambert, and Among My Souvenirs by Harold Lambert. Whether it's actually damaged or not, we'll eventually maybe play it and see. Decca Personality series with Victor Young. And that's all for this milk crate, and we'll get the last one. So far, for the money I paid for these, I'm pretty well pleased. There'll be some duplicates in here and some throwaways, or giveaways. I'd give them away to a friend of mine. Takes them to his granddaughter. Loose Leaf record album. RCA Victor Von Monroe, Broken. Capital Jane Froman. MGM Blue Baron, It's Easy When You Know How. Capital K Star. Columbia Red Harry James. Perry Como and RCA Victor. Another Perry Como and RCA Victor. Red Columbia Gene Autry. An Old Fashioned Tree. And the flip side of that is Here Comes Santa Claus. I've already got a copy of that. Dinah Shore on Red Label Columbia. Next up is another loose leaf album. Open it up, there's a Regent, Al Trace, Linger a While on one side. Whoop! So much for that. Held together by the label. And we'll go in the trash. Decca Personality, Don Cherry. There's a label I don't have. Archie Blyer and Maria Alba. Fernando's Hideaway on one side, and S'il vous plaît on the other side. Next we have a high tone. It looks like it's been well played. The hole is really, really leaned down on it. Frankie Lane on one side, and Jeffrey Clay on the other side. Not great condition. Okay. Tops. Mimi Martel Duet. Another high tone, the Falcon Singers, Blue Skirt Waltz. And here's a more interesting high tone. It's on the brownish red color. Jimmy Berry, It Isn't Fair on one side. Chug-a-Lug by Jimmy Berry on the other side. Tops, Hal Ross, Here in My Heart. Another high tone on a different color. This is more of a tannish brown. And we have Johnson Rag by Eugenie Baird on one side, and A Dreamer's Holiday by Jimmy Saunders on the other side. Not sure how unusual these colored records are for back in the day. And we have a high tone that is the Tune Timers, Ray Arthur and his orchestra. And Eugenie Baird, All My Love on the other side. Four more to go here. Loose album, record album that says Capital Dean Martin, That's Amore. Dean Martin, Tonda, Wanda Hoy. Jerry Lewis, I Like It, I Like It. Interesting combinations. It's well worn, it's broken at the hole. Eddie Howard on Mercury, RCA Victor, Vaughn Monroe. Margaret Whiting on Capitol, Andy Russell on Capitol, Vaughn Monroe, RCA Victor, Margaret Whiting on Capitol again, and another RCA Victor Perry Como. This one claims to be Capitol Presents Your Favorite Strauss Waltzes. I think we went through another one just exactly like this in the other crate. 2, 4, there should be 4 records in here. First one's an RCA Victor, Perry Como. MGM, Raymond Scott and his orchestra. Tommy Dorsey on the RCA Victor, so none of these are Strauss. And then Harry James on Columbia Red Label. This looks like the last of the loose leaf albums from this batch. RCA Victor, Eddie Fisher. Mercury Vic Damone. RCA Victor, Eddie Fisher. Victor, Eddie Fisher. RCA Victor, Eddie Fisher. Somebody liked Eddie Fisher because here's another one. Dinah Shore. These are broken up. This whole album may be just trash. The Ames Brothers, broken. Yeah, I think every record in here is broken. MGM, Tommy Edwards. And the last of the bunch. Nope, sorry, there's 2 of them here. They're small. At the Piano with Frankie Carl. Alright. So we got Columbia Red Label. There's 1, 2, 3. There's one missing, so it's an incomplete set of Red Label Columbias by Frankie Carl. Piano Reveries with Joe Reichman. Last thing I've got. Victor Records, it says. And there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, so that's a complete set on that. That's all I've got from this new batch. I've got 78s all over the house. I need to get them sorted and put away. I archive them. I list them on my computer so I know what I've got by label, by record number, sort them and arrange them onto a shelf which is completely full, and randomly play them here and there, and I also clean them according to, I believe his name is Joe Bassard's method. Soap and water, horsehair scrubber. But that's it for now, and if I buy more in the future, you guys want to see it, we'll do this again. Thank you for watching.